Hey guys, 25 Days to Christ with Lucid CeeLo Green this Christmas. Of course, I don't own the rights to this music. We're gonna jam a little bit while I pull up the word that goes with the encouraging word we have today. So go ahead and enjoy yourself. Little Christmas music, you know how Sister Auntie does. Do like it do, we're gonna do, baby. I gotta find it, y'all. Hope I remember it. You think I had it, right? That would be easy. This Christmas by CeeLo Green, y'all. I like this version too. I figure I'd give y'all a break from Mariah Carey. Although I haven't played Mariah Carey as much as I promised. But I definitely promised to do that. So yeah, I have the right scripture. Alright. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be special for us this year. It's going to be special for us this year because we're changing our mind. We're doing so many things to just set ourselves up for a better future. My daughter's playing with her ponytail on the camera. So if you see like little hairs coming down, it's my baby girl. Don't mind it. We live in this house, y'all.
Don't need to call me out.
You got called out, baby.
I was just trying to watch you.
You can watch, but you're swinging your braids all up in the film. All right, so what are we starting with? We today, if you go to my Facebook post earlier today, I put up a post with a jar with a light on the inside of the jar, and where the light was shining through, there was just a hint of a crack in it. And we're backing up what I'm going to encourage you with in the word with 2 Corinthians 4:7. And it reads, "For we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us." And I want to focus on A. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels. And the caption today was, "It's in there." Sort of like Prego. You know how they say it's in there, all the ingredients that you need to make a successful ragu sauce. Baby, you got the special ingredients. You hear me? You have the special ingredients for the sauce. You saucy. So we're going to talk about having this treasure. What is this treasure? This treasure is greatness. This treasure is immeasurable. This treasure is your heart towards people. This treasure is your love and zeal for life. This is a treasure that cannot be described with words. And so I'm not doing it any service trying to talk to you about the treasure that you have. But feel me. You got to feel that treasure you have on the inside of us. Look, Lucid XO is spending 25 days to Christ with you, to encourage you, to know who you are, and to go out and love with that thing. Of course, you know you could cop the bracelet from lucidxo.com, right? This is the Promise of God bracelet, because everything I'm going to talk to you about for these next days is about the God in you. This hidden treasure in an earthen vessel inside of here is not your beauty, right? It's not your muscles. It's not your muscles. It isn't your fine apparel. It is what literally is on the inside of you, is what people treasure about you. See, don't get it confused. When they see someone who is appealing to the eyes, it draws their attention. But it is something on the inside of you that makes them stay there. Even sometimes when people are in tumultuous and volatile relationships, sometimes you wonder, why would that person stay in a relationship like that? It's because they see the greater part of the other person. Now, I'm not telling them to stay. This is not about that. I'm just explaining to you how much greatness is in a person, that sometimes it just exudes and takes over anything else in your life. And you need to be encouraged today to know that you have that same greatness. Let me explain something to you about what's on the inside of you, how great it is. Now, if you've seen my other videos, hey Sharon, if you've seen my other videos, you have heard me talk about where I've come from and my process, right? So part of my process was the way I talk to people. I had a very short and curt, very quick mouth. I'm very quick-witted. I'm a bright woman. And I have a good wordplay. And remember, I told you I was a manipulator, right? Okay. So you put all that together in the mixing pot, and you had this type of mother. I'm talking to you personally today. You had this type of mother who would talk a certain way to her children because I didn't care who it was. As a manipulator, when I wanted something, I wanted it right then and there, and I did not care how I got it or at whose expense it came. I did this to my husband and my children, okay? And so I would talk smart. I mean, I was bad with it, y'all. We're not even going to talk about the people who I don't know, because that kind of, if you could talk to people you love in a certain way, what you say to anybody else don't even matter. Let me tell you how bad. There were times I would say to my children, if you do not leave me alone, stop pushing me. Like, so say they were doing something mischievous or teenagery. That's a word. We got a new word. We got teenagery and devilment. Devilment's from the other day. So say they would do something, and it was, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It wasn't good for them. Not that it was good. It was not good for them. It was something they shouldn't do. And I wanted them to stop doing that. The manipulator in me, instead of loving them through it, I would tell them things like this: don't push me. I'm telling them don't push me. They doing something to hurt themselves. I'm telling them don't push me because it makes me look bad, right, as a minister. I would tell them stuff like, I will put you in therapy. I would say something to you to put you in therapy. This is what I would tell my children, y'all. Trust me, I'm getting to the greater on the inside. You just stick with me, and I'm going to explain to you how greater on the inside is. And I would tell them stuff like this: don't talk back to me. Don't say nothing, because I'll say, remember I told you how I would do stuff to the mother, the father, the grandfather, the pet rock. There was no level of respect. And so this is the kind of stuff that I was putting in my children, not even realizing it, because I'm just thinking, oh, they're doing something bad and wrong and they shouldn't be doing it. But the thing was that I wasn't loving them out of it. My fear for them to harm themselves, instead of me acting out of love, which is the opposite of fear. If you look up fear, some of the synonyms are hate, this, that, and the third. But the opposite of love being fear and hate. I hated what they were doing, and it was making me afraid that their life was going to go in a way that was going to harm them. And in that fear, I would lash out at them and destroy them more, and did not realize it. Stick with me, y'all. I'm talking about what's on the greater part of you. And I wanted something different. I was like, I can't do this. This is not the way I have designed or had in my mind that I wanted to live my life. Remember, you have to frame your word with your words and your actions. So I began to renew my mind and change things and make adjustments. And I began to love on them. So instead of lashing out when they did something that was harmful to them, I would come into an understanding and try to love them through it that way. I started changing the way I talk, right? I'm telling you how great this is. Telling you how great we are on the inside. This treasure hidden in this earthen vessel. See, it was my flesh, my mind. Hey, Gwen. It was my flesh and my mind that was lashing out. I would lash out at my current husband now. Like, don't give me what I want. As soon as he said no, I'm telling you, World War, y'all don't know. We've already been through World War 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've been together for 13 years, so maybe probably been about through 8 or 9 world wars already. And as I began to say, this can't be it, I started changing things. I read in my word that it says, I've set you up. That God said he set us up to pluck up, to uproot. But this is what it also says, to build and to plant. So the great thing that was in me, that was being used on the wrong side, I began to turn that thing around and let this greatness of love lead me instead of letting the greatness of fear lead me. And now I have a healthy family. I have the family that I want because I made that change. And I took the steps and the actions to get what I wanted. So when I tell you that you have greatness in you to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish, I don't care what it is. You may be looking for a house. I personally was looking for a good relationship with my family, with my husband. Me and my husband were like not on one accord about marriage because my mouth was tearing so much down. But I let my heart begin to build that thing up. And in no time, he was ready to get married. So we're married now. My children are healthy individuals. Thank God that I didn't do stuff to put them into therapy, because that very well could have happened. Listen, when I decided that there was something greater in me and I wanted something greater and I was going to get that greater by all means without using master manipulation of the evil intent of the enemy or however other systems operate, I even considered family therapy. I said, well, maybe if I go to therapy, then I take my children to therapy and we could work it out. But let me tell you how much the greater is on the inside. Not one of us have been to therapy. And it's not because my children swept things under the rug for me. Oh, no. No. One thing about Sister Auntie, you'll learn about me as we continue to go throughout these days is I can take a hit and give a hit. So that's the thing that makes me dangerous. See, because if I hit you, if you see a fighter that can hit, it's like, oh, they can fight. But can they go the distance? See, I can go the distance. So that would make me more dangerous than anyone else. But I flipped that thing, turned it all upside down and around and started using it for a love capacity. And let me tell you, my family is healthy. We had the hard discussions about the things I've said, the things I've done, the things they've said, the things they've done. But mostly, it wasn't even about the things they've said or done. I was just listening to them so I could know what I did and how to grow and progress. So when I'm telling you that you have something greater on the inside, you would have never thought that the family I have today is the family that I have. When I tell you, hey, Shell, that's the good Reverend Doctor on, Dr. Reverend Michelle Capel. That's my girl, y'all. The level of love I have for her, forget about it. We don't even need to go there. But, because when you want to talk about greatness, no, we're going to go there. I got to do this. Because when you want to talk about greatness, this woman, she will put her hand to something and get it done. You hear me? This little petite doctor, she has had so many accomplishments in life because she went and she knew that there was something greater on the inside. And it's so good to see her on here right now as I'm talking about greater, because she's a wonderful example of it. But going back to what I was saying about how I had to develop my family. We're not broken, we're whole, because greatness came in. There was something on me that said, it's bigger than this. It gets better than this. And we have accomplished that. We are good. We spend all of our time together that we can. When we're not, we're talking, we're laughing. We are mentally and emotionally healthy individuals because we let the greatness begin to just come and explode in our hearts. And this is what I want to say to some of you, because one thing about greatness is it takes a gusto. It takes gall. It takes a strength in order to produce something that you want to do in this earth, because sometimes things come against you and you have to be able to go through those things. And one thing about it, when it comes to loving and greatness, I want to stress this, because if you have a job, you can buy a house or a car. I don't want to talk about money. I want to talk about the thing on the inside of you that'll get you to getting a mansion, because it's something greater on the inside of you. See, you can get with money whatever you can get. But when there's some greatness on the inside of you, would do a separate thing. And so I want to talk about having the greatness of love in you. The greatness of love makes you very mature, because someone will slap you and you will give them the other cheek. There's so many times Sister Auntie want to do things. There's so many times Sister Auntie might want to say things like, they don't even know. In my old self, I be done tore them up with my mouth. And I don't. A lot of times you see me smiling, laughing, joking. Remember, I told you I play too much, but I do not play. But I play too much, right? It's because I have this greatness on the inside of me that is love. That's the main thing about me. When you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm doing it literally out of love. The encouragement, the love, the patience, the understanding, the compassion, even when I'm not playing with you. That's still love. That's still love. Listen, I encourage you to go on in love with the greatness on the inside of you. Get your goals accomplished. Get all of your natural goals accomplished, but set your sights on some eternal things. Set your sight on some internal things. Remember, I talked about you leaving an inheritance for your family, and I said I wasn't talking about houses or money. Remember I told you about Elisha, who had died, and they came and laid a dead man's body on his grave, and the dead man raised up just from laying on the grave of Elisha, who was a dead man, because that's what your life should do. Your life should touch people even after you're gone. The greatness on the inside of you should be a perpetual love going and flowing through your family from generation to generation to generation. That's what's going to be the change. That's what's going to drive you to work harder. That's what's going to drive you to be better. That's what's going to drive you to be kinder. That's what's going to drive you to be more forgiving. So this is what I'm saying to you. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says that we have this treasure hidden in earthen vessels. It is a treasure in you. Your love capacity, your kindness, your caring, your thoughtfulness. I don't care what this world tells you. Y'all keep singing separate, separate, separate. And now you have got what you wanted. We are separated and you are crying about the separation. So you cannot tell me that that's what you want to do. You don't want the separation. It sounds good. It looked good on paper. Like how the people treat me and my husband. Our money look good on paper, but we could use a couple more dollars. We good though. But you understand what I'm saying? It sounds good. But what is really good in your heart? Take your greatness on the inside and let it burst out. Remember in the other video, I told you that a seed has to burst open, go down deep in the roots, break open, die. Then it raises up. And then you can harvest minty and plenty from the one seed. But if you won't break, if you won't die, if you won't be mature enough in your love, if you won't let greatness out of you because you're so afraid, you're so afraid of being hurt, you're so afraid of somebody thinking you're a punk. You're not a punk because someone says something to you and you don't respond. You're in control of yourself. You have discipline and you know your purpose. They might not know who they are. And if you answer them in love, you might be the very one to turn them around. So I'm just on here to encourage you to go on in your greatness, whatever your greatness is. But make sure that while you're being great, while you're building big houses, while you're buying drop top cars, while you have all the wonderful apparel and jewels in your closet, that you don't forget the greatness that's on the inside of you. The thing that's going to make people stick with you, draw to you, help you change the world. I want love back in this world, y'all. And this is why I say it takes a mature person to show the greatness of love, because you will have to turn the cheek sometimes. You might not be able to say it. And it's not always about cutting somebody off. I'm doing away with that. Every time you get on here and you talk about cutting off and separating and piece and this and that, I'm going to close that door, because we have said that so much. and taking it out of context to where nobody is friends. Nobody has sticking power anymore. Nobody will go through with you in the night anymore because they don't have to take it because they light skinned. Remember I told you if you get the references, it's funny. So that's why I'm telling you, go in greatness. Yes, queen. Yes, king. You're great on the inside. We're not talking about the way you look or your clothes, what you're driving. We're talking about you. If you have none of that stuff, will people still want to be around you? That's what you want to do. You want to be Elisha too. You want to be the one that you keep giving a perpetual inheritance to your family that have nothing to do with something that they can touch. You hear what I'm saying? So you go, you be blessed. You change your mind. You do the great thing. Listen, if you didn't hear it, go back and listen to this on how I had to change the way my family operated, and it started with me. We make a joke about Puff Daddy saying, be the change you want to see, or whatever, you know, that line. That is the truth, though. If you want to see change, you got to be changed first. It started with me. Because why? The greatness is on the inside of me. And I was given the power to do what? Remember, I told you can destroy or uproot, or you can build and plant. What is it you want to do with your greatness on the inside? Do you want to continue to tear things down, or do you want to plant and build up? Some things need to be torn down. What I had to tear down was my manipulation, my bad attitude, my selfishness, my own will and intent. And I began to build up and plant love. And now I have a family that is loving and caring. And when other people look at us, they're like, wow, I love your family. And I'm like, you don't know, we've been on the backside of the mountain like Moses, sitting around with our hair getting turned white, waiting for God to pass us by. Trying not to be accountable for the things that we had said and done. Okay, for the murder Moses committed. I had committed murder. I was committing spiritual murder to myself, to my children. I was committing emotional murder with my mouth. I'm telling you. But guess what? The greater thing on the inside of me began to rise up and say, we're going to go another way. So I encourage you to go another way. This is your girl, Sister Auntie, 25 Days to Christ with Lucid XO. I'm going to continue to be on here and encourage you to go on in love. And remember, everything we're doing for these next 25 days, I say it every time, is not to get you through December. It's not to get you through Corona. It's not to get you through 2020. It's not to get you to 2021. It is to get you to the best life that you can have. In Jesus' name, I'm so glad you took the time to spend with me. I'm so glad you took the time to view this and change your mind. Hey, Tianda, Auntie, sister girl, Sister Auntie is signing off right now, but I'm so glad that you were here to get to hear how God wanted to encourage you about the greatness and the great thing that is on the inside of you. So if you didn't get to hear, go back and listen to the greatness and how it changes the world. You guys be blessed. Love you all. And I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of your life. Bye. Yes, Reverend Doctor. Yes, ma'am. Come on, we one body. We one body, so it all works together. But I'm signing off here. I hope I've encouraged other people to go on and show forth their greatness. I hope you get something out of me. I hope you understand that when I give you anecdotes of my life, it's not for you to copy exactly, but for you to get a principle of the things I've done. I hope you understand that a lot of things that I'm talking about are about intangible things that really get to your core and your spirit, because if you can get your foundation straight, when you build upon it, it will be strong. You don't have to worry about it being wobbly. And so I hope everyone is getting that. You all be blessed. I love you all. Bye.